Bleu, mon Dieu, boy did Meghan Markle have an action.
Paris Fashion Week, oh, it was dazzling. The city shimmered under 1,000 flashing cameras, perfume thick in the air, models gliding like living art pieces. But behind that glittering facade, whispers spread like wildfire. And right in the middle of it all, Meghan Markle walking the Parisian streets like she owned the city itself. Except, here's the twist. Apparently, she wasn't the one paying the bills. Yup, you heard that right. The Duchess who preaches independence, who once told Oprah she wanted to stand on her own 2 feet, may have had someone else secretly footing her luxury fantasy. When those hotel receipts surfaced, the illusion shattered faster than a champagne glass hitting marble. It all started with Meghan's surprise appearance in Paris, her self-declared soft power comeback. Everything was immaculate. The glossy hair, the wardrobe dripping with old Hollywood vibes, the carefully choreographed photo ops. It was her grand Hollywood revival moment. She checked into one of Paris's most exclusive hotels, the kind of place where a single night costs more than most families earn in a month. Private butlers, vintage Dom Perignon in crystal decanters, a personal spa, and whisper-quiet security guards. It was the full royal meets Hollywood fantasy. But here's the problem. No one could figure out who actually paid. At first, everyone assumed it was Meghan. After all, this was her big rebranding era. Her new wine brand, American Riviera Orchard, had just launched, and insiders said she wanted to seduce Paris like Grace Kelly once did Monaco. But when reporters began to dig deeper, the story started to crack.
To see Meghan Markle pop up at the Balenciaga fashion show. Now, Rebecca, this was a significant moment for Meghan, wasn't it? A significant appearance.
Hotel insiders whispered that the name on the bill didn't match Meghan or her team. The payment came through an international wire from a company that didn't trace back to Archewell or any Markle-related business. And then, the rumors erupted like fireworks. Who really paid for Meghan? Markle's Paris trip? Some tabloids guessed maybe Dior or Balmain that she'd been invited by a fashion house. But those theories crumbled instantly. A Dior insider bluntly told Le Monde, "No, she was not here on our invitation." Ouch, that denial sent the internet into chaos. Others pointed fingers at Marcus Anderson, her longtime friend and Soho House confidant. The man often dubbed her image fixer, but even that story didn't stick. Then came the receipts. Late one Friday night, a French gossip site, La Vérité Mode, dropped screenshots of what looked like a partial hotel statement. The name listed? A corporate entity connected to a mysterious media investor in Los Angeles. That's when everything flipped. The theory? Meghan's Paris trip wasn't self-funded at all. It was a publicity deal, a setup by a silent backer who wanted to reboot her image in Europe's luxury scene. Except, it backfired spectacularly. When La Vérité Mode published those receipts, the backlash was instant and brutal. Critics screamed hypocrisy. Tweets went viral, "Independent women don't hide who's paying the bill." Another said, "She's gone from royal budgets to mystery money, same circus, different clown, savage." Even Page 6 and Daily Mail started digging into it. Meanwhile, inside Buckingham Palace, things got icy. Sources revealed that King Charles's team had been quietly working on Project Thaw, a private plan to ease tensions between the royals and the Sussexes. But after the Paris scandal, that plan froze instantly. According to palace insiders, the king's stance was simple. If Meghan wanted to act like a global stateswoman, she had to be beyond reproach. Hidden sponsors? Not a good look. And just like that, the situation began spiraling out of control. Back in Montecito, panic set in. Meghan's team went into full crisis mode, phones buzzing, emails flying, lawyers on standby. One insider described it as pure chaos. Meghan was furious, blindsided, and convinced someone in her own circle had leaked those receipts. Some even whispered that Marcus Anderson himself might have known more than he let on. After all, Marcus had always been her gatekeeper, her bridge to high society and Hollywood elites. Harry, meanwhile, was livid, not over the money, but the principle. He'd fought for years to prove that they were financially independent, free from royal strings. The idea that Meghan might have accepted undisclosed financial help from an outsider? It stung. Sources said Harry started withdrawing, skipping joint meetings, canceling appearances. Meghan, on the other hand, doubled down, insisting she'd covered everything through a private partnership, but she refused to say which one. That only made the gossip louder. By then, Paris receipts was trending. YouTubers, tabloids, TikTokers, everyone had a theory. Even Vanity Fair joined in with a headline, "Who paid for Meghan's Paris comeback?" The story, meant to mark her grand revival, had turned into a full-blown soap opera. But the real explosion came when the name behind the mysterious payment finally surfaced. And once Meghan realized who it was, it broke her completely. The alleged mystery benefactor? Ari Emanuel, Hollywood's super agent, CEO of Endeavor, and one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry. At first, it sounded unbelievable. Why would he, of all people, pay for Meghan Markle's Paris trip? But sources soon spilled that it wasn't charity, it was strategy. Ari had reportedly agreed to sponsor parts of Meghan's trip under a collaboration. She'd subtly represent Endeavor's luxury outreach in Europe, and in return, her accommodations and logistics would be handled discreetly. A clean, quiet exchange. Until it wasn't. Apparently, Meghan misunderstood the arrangement. She thought it was her grand comeback. Her personal, Ari, saw it as a business transaction. When the receipts leaked and his name got tangled in Meghan's mystery payment scandal, Ari lost it. Within 24 hours, Endeavor's PR team began damage control, denying any financial involvement and labeling it a clerical misunderstanding. Translation: Meghan was on her own. Then came more speculation that maybe it wasn't Ari, but an Arab billionaire with ulterior motives. The truth blurred as the internet twisted the story, and Meghan spiraled. She'd believed everything was discreet, off the record, elegant. But once Ari's team denied involvement, she realized she'd been left hanging, publicly. That night, sources say Meghan broke down in tears. Humiliated, betrayed. Harry tried to console her, but he was fuming too. "This is exactly why we left royal life," he allegedly told her. To avoid being seen as people trading favors. But Meghan was crushed because she realized she had been used. Ari Emanuel's denial wasn't just PR damage control, it was a message. In Hollywood, reputation is currency, and Meghan's had plummeted overnight. Executives whispered that she had become toxic to associate with. Her projects underperformed, her partnerships fizzled, and even the friends who once called her the future of modern celebrity began backing away. The receipts were quietly reimbursed, sealed under a hush-hush non-disclosure deal. But the damage? Irreversible. Meghan's European rebrand dead before it even began. The fallout was instant. PR firms warned clients, stay clear of the Sussex orbit. One Hollywood exec was quoted saying, "You don't want to be the next headline Meghan drags you into." Inside Montecito, tensions skyrocketed. Harry withdrew again, furious that yet another Meghan-led project had blown up in their faces. Insiders said he spent hours in damage control meetings, desperate to protect the Archewell Foundation from
Boy, did Meghan Markle have an action
being tainted by the Paris fiasco. Marcus Anderson, her longtime fixer and friend, reportedly told close confidants he was done cleaning up her messes. British tabloids seized their moment, labeling her a luxury freeloader, mocking her supposed obsession with status. Social media memes called her the Duchess of Discounts. But the real blow came from across the pond. Palace aides whispered that King Charles was deeply disappointed. William was said to be livid, reportedly telling friends, "They make the crown look cheap." Even Netflix, her last big ally, reconsidered. Executives quietly shelved a follow-up documentary, citing brand direction concerns. What had been meant as a glamorous resurrection now looked like an implosion. The Paris trip hadn't just dented her image, it cracked the very foundation of her career and her marriage. In the days that followed, Montecito turned into a fortress. Trucks rolled up the driveway delivering new privacy, screens, blackout curtains, and security systems. Meghan barely stepped outside. Friends described her as emotionally shattered, swinging between anger and despair. "She feels used by everyone," one insider said. "First the royals, then Hollywood, now even her friends." Harry was reportedly at his breaking point. Arguments became routine. He warned her that chasing fame was destroying them, but Meghan saw it differently. To her, it wasn't about money or clout, it was about betrayal. The feeling of being abandoned by a world that had once promised her belonging. Paris hadn't just cost her a fortune, it had cost her credibility. And in Hollywood, once that's gone, there's no coming back. Then, the silence hit. Calls stopped. Invitations vanished. Designers, stylists, and even old allies started ghosting her. Variety quietly canceled a planned profile. The exile wasn't just online, it was social. It finally dawned on her. She was being frozen out. Her ex-Spiderman, power circle, Oprah, Serena, the Clooneys, Ari Emanuel, all distanced themselves. Meghan tried reaching out, but everyone was suddenly unavailable. She wasn't an asset anymore, one Hollywood insider said. She was a liability. The realization broke her. She cried for days, stopped showing up to meetings, canceled investor calls for her upcoming lifestyle brand, and wandered the Montecito mansion pacing in silence. When she told a friend, "I've worked too hard to be treated like this," it wasn't anger in her voice, it was heartbreak. But this time, Harry didn't comfort her. He withdrew quietly, deliberately. Insiders claimed Harry had finally reached his limit. He'd watched every effort to rebuild their image crash and burn. He told her, "I can't keep cleaning up the mess," one source revealed. Those words shattered her. Soon, Harry began attending private meetings alone. He was exploring new humanitarian projects, without Meghan. To some, it looked like he was carving out his own lane, trying to fix his reputation apart from hers. Then came the shocker. Harry showed up in London solo. No Meghan, no joint appearance, just Harry, surrounded by the royals. When asked why she wasn't there, the Sussex spokesperson gave a short, icy statement. The Duchess will not be attending. Behind closed doors, Meghan was furious. Harry, she felt, had betrayed her, returning to the very institution that had rejected them both. She accused him of hypocrisy. But Harry was done fighting. "I need space," he reportedly told her. The tabloids pounced. Harry goes home, solo Sussex, the beginning of the end. For Meghan, it felt like her world was collapsing, not just publicly, but privately. In a desperate attempt to regain control, Meghan's team proposed every possible PR move, from emotional statements to independent woman campaigns. But nothing worked. Every word she said turned into memes. Then came the charity gala, her first public appearance post-scandal. But instead of applause, there was awkward silence. Cameras captured her clapping enthusiastically during a speech, while everyone around her stayed still and the internet tore her apart. "Hollywood doesn't fear her anymore," one journalist wrote. "They pity her." That pity turned to paranoia. Meghan began suspecting everyone. Staff were forced to sign tighter NDAs. Old friends stopped answering. She believed someone inside her team was leaking. And maybe they were. The press fed on every crumb: the strained marriage, Harry's absences, the solo Sussex headlines. Even insiders said Harry's team started drawing up contingency PR plan strategies to protect his image alone. To Meghan, that was betrayal. "It's happening again," she reportedly cried. "I'm being left behind." Inside Montecito, silence replaced conversation. Meghan poured herself into the project. Harry spent more and more nights away, first in Malibu, then at a quiet retreat up north. To the world, they looked calm. But behind those walls, it was chaos. The Paris trip that started as a fairy tale comeback had morphed into a full-blown tragedy, a story of ambition, betrayal, and the cost of power. And as cameras rolled for the cost of silence, even Meghan knew one wrong word, one wrong move, and this wouldn't be her redemption. It would be her final undoing.